right, Mike, so first things first, can you believe the Gators lost to Kentucky?
Oh my gosh, why are you gonna do me like that? First of all, can we talk about the fact that was absolutely a field goal? Like
that was my next question.
You have one job. You're literally looking up. How do you miss that? So embarrassing. I don't think it mattered, but they were probably due for one. If you remember last year's game, how lucky we got in Lexington, they were probably due, but it still doesn't make it easy.
Now that August is over, the busy month has concluded. How'd it go, and how did it compare to last year? Did we do better or worse?
Sure. I mean, it's still a little tough to tell right now because we haven't really had a chance to dive into the numbers, at least from a revenue standpoint. I know how many scooters we sold. It was a little bit lower than what we did last year, which was our single biggest volume month of any year ever. So it was a little bit under that. But one trend that I already saw was some of maybe the better quality, higher price point scooters. We actually sold a lot more of in August 18 than we had ever. So from a revenue standpoint, when you start to look at some of that stuff, I actually expect that to be kind of on par, even though the units were a little bit lower. In terms of how that team did, I mean, I thought they absolutely crushed it. One thing that was brand new for this year, and I think we've talked about it on previous vlogs, was the Haul Ass Pass. And that was basically a process that we put together designed to save the customer time at the dealership if they wanted to go ahead and get their paperwork started, a leg up on it, as well as the team time. And we did about 45 of those sales were done with the Haul Ass Pass, which I definitely think makes the team feel like it's less chaotic because most of their stuff was done ahead of time. So usually we had these high volume days where everything was really tense and stressful and you got a lot of stuff going on at once. When those came on that still account for a lot of that stress, the stress was mitigated this year because all the legwork was already done ahead of time. So that was brand new. I definitely think there's some kinks to work out, but it was a huge success from both the customer and team standpoint. But by and large, I mean, everybody crushed it. I thought it went really well. And it's crazy every year we get better and better at going through it, and it starts to feel less and less stressful. So that's definitely a credit to the team and the work we do ahead of time, making sure processes are refined and everything like that. So it's hard to believe that we're already looking at quarter 4 already. 2018's blown by. Some things that have made this year unique. For one, we started a brand new business. Collin has been working on Repaint the Wall, so he's actually taken a step out of new scooters for less, kind of handing the keys over to me and Brad and Hannah as our managers, and letting us take care of what we consider the nest egg while he focuses on this next phase of our larger company. So that's definitely the biggest change.
Do you think New Scooters for Less is going to suffer at all when Collin starts to work more at Repaint the Wall?
Are you kidding? He's got us. No, but all kidding aside, he's definitely set us up for success by continuing to be a mentor to me and investing into my training and leadership. We talk all the time, whether it's nebulous conversations about what type of leaders we want, what we want out of this business, or whether it's more direct things, issue-based things. But one thing he's got a team of a full team, but definitely of managers that are bought in and we're all on the same page doing the right thing together. So I think that's a tribute to him and the kind of organization he's built. Losing a guy like Collin from the day-to-day is tough because he is the owner and no one's going to out-care him. He's the one that's going to be working late at night, answering emails on a Sunday, making sure that no one works harder than him and that he's always going to be the one that takes care of the customer the best. So it's always tough to lose somebody like that that's as bought in and as committed, but we've got people here that run things the same way, and so I don't expect there to be any drop-offs, and I think that's just, again, a tribute to the kind of team that he's built.
And how is Repaint the Wall helping New Scooters for Less?
That's definitely interesting. I mean, there's a lot of things that have come up already. When you promote an idea like customer service, it puts a lot of eyes on you at all times. And with the media aspect, whether it's the videography, whether it's the podcast, all these things that Repaint's doing, New Scooters for Less is actually the portfolio. And everything that he pitches as he's out there getting clients, he's trying to help them build their brands and everything. is using New Scooters for Less as this portfolio of why it's important to commit to customer service, do these small things, distinguish your business, do it innovatively, and without using New Scooters for Less as a portfolio, it's kind of, I don't say a tough sell, but it's an example of why this stuff works. So the way that back feeds is now everybody starts looking at New Scooters for Less, and it puts a lot of eyes squarely back on us. And whether it turns into direct sales or just exposure, it definitely feels like there's always a growing awareness of our presence in the community and what we offer and who we are. And I definitely think that in the 8 months that he's focused on Repaint, that there's already been like an impact on our day-to-day and the kind of business that we see and the kind of exposure that we're getting, for sure.
Tell us more about the name Repaint the Wall.
Repaint the Wall. So we struggled with coming up with a name for a long time. It's hard whenever you start a business and you want it to be perfect, right? So I can't tell you how many late nights at the office with a little bit of liquid courage we tried to come up with the right name, right? The Repaint Story actually comes from, gosh, it was back in 2005 at the very first New Scooters for Less headquarters. And for some reason we had the idea to paint this storage room completely black. And it looked really cool, but when it came time for Collin to move the business over to a different part of town, he was kind of left with the decision of what to do with the security deposit, whether he should kind of refresh it like it was. And he was determined to, from an integrity standpoint, to make sure that he left it exactly like he found it. And so the joke was that, he repainted the wall, and he spent a lot of time and money on repainting this black wall back to white. But he did it because he felt like it was the right thing to do. And that story just kind of always stuck with me. And I remember telling Ronald that story one time after a couple beers here at the dealership, and it stuck with him too. So when we started kicking around names for this new company and what it means, what the goal, the objective, the mission of this company is, Ronald brought that up. He's like, well, what about Repaint the Wall? And Collin had no idea what he was talking about. And he started telling the story, and Collin's like, how do you know this? And Mike told me it's just something that really stuck with him. And then so we started figuring out how that name might actually apply to this company. Both from a repaint, there's a lot of rebranding going on. There's a lot of businesses that maybe aren't using social media, videography to their benefit. So you're kind of repitching, rebranding some companies, but you're doing it the right way. Everything that we ever have our hands in is going to be customer service driven. It's going to be customer focused. So I think that as a driving point of everything that we do, you started to find reasons why that name might make sense, and we just kind of ran with it. Once the team started doing some mock-ups on logos and stuff, it just kind of took a life of its own, and that's where Repaint was born. So this time next year, man, it's really tough. I study the New Scooters for Less numbers a lot, and we've kind of been on this linear growth, and I expect that to stay the same. I mean, when you have outside influences like the tariffs, people bringing in new products, e-bikes is another thing that we talk about sometimes as something that could potentially diversify a lot of what we offer. There's always a chance for things to take an exponential turn, and I think we're ready for that, chomping at the bit, hoping to make that happen. But without resting on the laurels, I think from a New Scooters for Less side, we kind of know the floor is not going to drop off that much, but the ceiling still stays, maybe it's a little high. From a repaint side, that's volatile in a very good way. I think you can look at the work, the effort that the team is putting together. I think that it's very easy to almost assume that company's getting ready to explode faster than we could have ever imagined. Where that puts us a year from now, I'm not going to put dollar amounts or contract numbers or anything like that on there, but I will say that based on what we've already been successful with and what's been accomplished, I expect it to just grow, and the lid's just going to get blown off like crazy, and it's going to be a really fun ride. So it'll be interesting to see. You have to keep watching. So we've talked about New Scooters for Less, we've talked about Repaint. The nice part of all of this is we're documenting it every step along the way. So you're able to subscribe, you're able to watch and kind of see us as we go through these huge growth phases, finding out what's next for these businesses. And we hope you enjoy watching them. We hope you are able to take something away from it and learn it, maybe apply it to your business or however your life, and just kind of watch with us and watch us grow. Until next time, catch you later.